Good morning, students. Welcome to PPS online class. In today's session, we'll be discussing a simple but important topic from your first unit, that is command line arguments. This topic, uh, it was left over from your first unit, which we are going to complete in today's session. So it is a small topic, so it will not take much time to complete this one. So in today's session only, I'll be discussing the theory related to this command line arguments, and as well as I will demonstrate few programs on these command line arguments. Okay, so without much ado, let's just enter into this topic. uh, See, every C program, we know that every C program, it is going to have at least one function, that is main function. So uh, most commonly, whatever we have written the programs so far, we have seen it is not going to return, or it is going to return an integer value only. In case if it is not returning anything, we'll make the return type as void. In case if it is returning something, uh, and that specific data type will make as the return type of main. Okay, so mostly we made our main function to return an integer type of value, and the parameters, if you see, it will not take any parameters, so the parameter list is going to be a void. Okay, so this type of format, this type of main function format, we have seen so far in almost every C program whatever we practiced. Okay, so the important thing which you have to notice here is the parameter list only associated with this main, the parameter list only. Okay, so as we said, the main function will not hold any parameters, so we made the parameter list as void. What if you want to send something, I mean some parameters, as to this main function, okay, from where we are going to pass, and from where the main function is going to be called, and how to pass these parameters, because whatever definition we are going to write, that definition will hold the receiving, the formal parameters, isn't it? Then what are the actual parameters to this main function are going to be? Okay, from where we can give the actual parameters to this main, because calling main, it is not in our control. We said many times the operating system itself will call that main, and the operating system itself is having the capability to send the parameters to the main function. So that is what we are going to see in today's topic. So how to call a main function manually, and how to send the parameters to main manually, and when you are sending, how to receive those parameters in the main function definition, which we are writing in our program. Okay, so if you see quickly here, it is also possible to give command line arguments to the main function in C. That is what our today's topic, how to give these command line arguments, and how to handle them in our program, and how to manipulate, and I mean how to use them in our program. That is what our today's topic, command line arguments. Okay, so generally, from our interpreter, or from our IDE, from our C IDE, that is Dev C++, the execution of the program, it is very simple. See, for compilation, we'll select one menu option. From there, the program gets compiled, and for executing also, we will select one menu option. From there, only the program is going to be executed, isn't it? So far we know this is how we compile, and this is how we execute our C programs. Okay, simply we'll go to, I'll show you how it will be. See here, under this execute, we have both these options, compile and run. Okay, using these two options, uh, one for compiling the program and one for executing the program, we will select. Okay, but it is also possible to execute our program from the uh, uh, command line. Okay, from the command line, we call it as command line only. That black color screen where we get the prompt. Okay, we call it as a command line. I will show you. See from here. See, from this window also we can execute our program. Okay, that how we execute that I'm going to show in today's session, and how we can pass the arguments to that executing program, that also I will show you in today's session. Okay, so command line arguments are nothing but the values. Okay, values given after the name of the program, because when giving this command line arguments, first we give the name of the program to which we are passing these values as command line arguments. Okay, in the command line shell, the black color screen, whatever I have shown you just now, that is nothing but your command line shell of the operating system. So through command line shell of the operating system only, we will start the execution of our program, and from there only we will pass the command line arguments to our program. Okay, so and whatever command line arguments from the command line shell we are passing, those are handled by our main function. Okay, our main function will handle those command line arguments in the C program. Whatever program we write in that C program, who will handle that command line arguments, in the sense the main function will receive those command line arguments as parameters. Okay, as parameters to main. Okay, whatever command line arguments we will pass from the command line shell after the name of our program, those command line arguments will be received by the main as parameters and will be handled by main as parameters. Okay, while we demonstrate with the help of a program, you will understand very clearly how these things will happen in our program. Okay, in our programming, hopefully. So yeah, to pass the command line arguments, the main function definition has to be changed. Okay, the main function definition, previously, because there were no parameters to your main, we wrote the parameters as void. We made the parameters as void. But now, when we write our main function in this command line arguments case, my main function is going to have parameters, and those parameters we need to make something like this. Okay, the two arguments, it is basically going to have two arguments. The first argument is nothing but the argument count, how many command line arguments you are passing. 1 2 3 4, how many exactly you are passing, that count will be hold, that count will be handled by this argc. Same way, whatever arguments we are passing over here to the main function, in that same way you have to put the arguments to the main function. Okay, whatever syntax we are seeing over here, in that same way you need to put the arguments. The first one is argument count, and the second one is argument variables or argument values. Okay, so these argument values are actual arguments, and argument count is just the number of arguments, just the count of the arguments. Okay, just do remember, argument count in the sense the number, how many number of arguments we are passing, that number. And argument value, argument variable or argument vector is nothing but the complete list of arguments. Okay, this is the list and this is the number. And first thing, as you can see, it is a count, so the type is going to be integer. And second thing, as you can see, it is going to be a list of all command line arguments whatever we are passing. So every item, it is going to be a string. In your command line argument vector, every item is going to be a string. So here argument vector is nothing but it is a list of all such command lines whatever you are passing from the command line shell. Okay, from the command line shell. So that list is going to be a list of strings. Okay, hopefully you understood. It is an array of strings, we can say. Okay, a ragged array kind of thing. Okay, we already discussed a ragged array. What is ragged array, or what is array of strings, array of names. So here something, your argument vector is nothing but it is a list of such strings or array of such strings. So already I said na, argc is nothing but argument count. It is an integer variable that stores the number of command line arguments passed. Okay, suppose if we are passing one command line argument after the file name, because file name itself is going to be the first command line argument. Okay, whatever command line, whatever commands we will give, whatever command line arguments we will give, after the file name only we will give. So the file name itself is going to be my first command line argument, and after that, suppose if you are passing only one command line, then command line argument, file name, one command line argument, then your argument count is going to be 2, and file name along with two command line arguments, then your argument count is going to be 3. Likewise, do remember, always your file name constitutes first command line argument. And after command line argument, first command line argument, whatever number of command line arguments you will pass, that will go like file name plus the number of command line arguments. So, like that you have to remember. Then the next thing is, and it should be a non-negative number, okay, non-negative integer, because always minimum file name we will give, isn't it? Minimum file name we will give. So always the argument count is going to be minimum 1 or 0, but it is not going to be minus, okay, negative. Hope you understood that one. And next thing is argument vector. It is going to hold the listing of all the parameters whatever we are passing, all the arguments whatever we are passing. And here every item in that list is going to be pointed by a character pointer, okay, pointed by a character pointer. That's why the first argument to as command line arguments what we are passing, integer type, and second one character pointer we are passing. Character pointer is nothing but a string, and if you make a character pointer array, okay, a character pointer array, as you can see here, it is a character pointer and followed by array. So nothing but every character pointer is going to point this string, and it is an array of such character pointers. Hope you understood. Okay, so argument count, it is greater than 0, a non-negative value, and argument variable of 0 is going to be the first command line argument, and such that argument vector of argument count -1, because we know array index always starts from 0 and ends at maximum size -1. Okay, so this is how argument vector of 0 to 1 means 0 to argument count -1. Okay, argument count -1 in the sense whatever number of argument counts you will have, always the index will start from 0 and ends at argument count -1. And argument count, always it is a non-zero, greater than non-negative, greater than 0 kind of parameter. Okay, so we said that the first command line argument is nothing but the name of the program, name of the file. So that is why argument vector of 0 is going to be the name of the program. After that, till argument vector of argument count -1, every element is going to be a command line argument. Every element, argument count of 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, argument vector of argument count -1, every element is going to be a command line argument only. So to demonstrate this, I have a simple program here, a C program. So as you can see, I am receiving the argument count, the total number of command line arguments, and argument vector, the list of all arguments as parameters to my main. ఓకే, సో ఈ ఆర్గ్ సి అనే దాంట్లో నంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి, జస్ట్ కౌంట్ ఉంటుంది, అండ్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ వెక్టర్ లో కంప్లీట్ లిస్టింగ్ ఉంటుంది. సో హియర్ యూ కెన్ సీ హౌ వీ కెన్ execute this program whenever you have command line arguments to be passed to your main function. So now we can't execute this program from your IDE by selecting the run option. Okay, in that case you will get error, or in that case you will get 0 command line arguments to your program. To pass the command line arguments specifically from the Windows shell, you need to execute. As you can see, this black screen is my command line shell, and from this command line shell only I'm executing my program. I have given my program name as command argument demo. This is my program name. .c you don't have to, okay, because we are going to execute the executable file. That's the reason we don't put .c over here. Okay, simply put the command argument demo, and then I'm passing how many arguments here. This is my first argument. File name itself is going to be the first argument, 0th argument. Then this is my first index argument, this is my second index argument, third index argument, and lastly fourth index argument, this one. So now to access the overall count, what will be my argc, argument count, in the sense how many? This file name first, file name 1. This command line, first command line argument will become second. Okay, second count, third count, fourth count, fifth count. Likewise, argument count will become 5. So if I give argument vector of 0, what I'll get from this? I'll get my program name, that is cmd arg demo, command line arguments demo. This will be my argument vector of 0. And to access the first command line argument, okay, argument variable of 1, argument vector of 1, that will be this first string. Okay, not just strings, you can give any values now. I will demonstrate and I will show you. Okay, command, then command I mean, how we are separating all the command line arguments, you just notice that one. All the command line arguments, how we are separating? We are separating with spaces. Okay, so my command line argument of 2 will become line. Likewise, up to last, up to line. So we can say this is also one of the approach of giving input to your program, not just using print, using scanf from the reading from the console. This is also another possibility of giving input to your program using command line argument. Through command line argument also, arguments also, we can give the input to our program. Okay, so suppose if I'm passing 10 command line arguments, then my argument count will become 11, including file name, it will become 11. So to print all the command line arguments, including the file name, what I have to do? I need to take one loop. I need to start from 0 and I need to run up to argument count. Okay, I need to run up to argument count. So suppose if I'm passing 10 command line arguments after my file name, then my argument count will become 11, and this loop will iterate up to 0 to 10, that is 11 times. Okay, 0 to 10, that is 11 times, and every time it is going to print one argument vector item. Okay, because here we are going to have all that 11 arguments as a list into this argument vector. All that 11 arguments we are going to have as a list in that argument vector, and argument vector of 0 will print the file name. Then argument vector of 1 will print the first command line argument. Argument vector of 2 will print the second command line argument. Likewise, it will print all the command line arguments from the argument vector. Simple program. Okay. So quickly I will demonstrate this program for your better understanding of command line arguments. So I'm moving to this program and I will give my program name. Let me just save this. I'm giving my program name as go to save as. Okay, it is saving in online classes. Let me just take this path. Okay, so just remember, do remember, it is storing in this online classes folder. Okay, and where that folder is, you can see here under C, I have a users folder, and after that honest folder, after that OneDrive folder, and after that documents folder. In this documents, I have online classes. Okay, online classes folder, and in that online classes, I'm saving my program. So here I'm giving my program name as cmd. Okay, already it is there, cmd arg demo.c. Likewise, I'm giving. Okay, now I will write my program hash. I'm including my, no need to include any special header file to use command line arguments. So then I said, na, my main function, it is not going to be void anymore. It is going to receive command line arguments, whatever I am going to pass from the from the program execution. I will show you how to execute this program and how to pass the command line arguments. Then I'm going to receive my arguments count into argument count variable, argc variable. and I'm going to receive all the list of command line arguments into my argument vector. Like this we need to receive. Now what I need to process, and I need to print all the command line arguments. First of all, what I'll do is I'll print the count, okay, argument count. So total, slightly I'm changing the program, okay, whatever I have in that PPT, slightly I'm changing. Here I'm not printing that count, but yeah, you have entered percentile D arguments. Yeah, that count also I'm printing. So same thing, I will input here also. You have entered percentile D command line arguments. Command line arguments. Okay. Percentile D I need to replace with what? Where I'm going to have the complete count of command line arguments inside this argument count variable. So that argument count I'm printing. Okay. Next thing, now your command line arguments, or directly you can print. Okay. For I equals to, start from 0, I must be less than n, not n, I must be less than argument count. Okay, then I plus plus. Yeah, now here you can print, as we are going to have only one statement, no need to take the curly brackets. Straight away you print percentile s, because it is going to be a string, and give a backslash n, and after printing the count also, better you give one backslash n here also. Okay, so that you will get all the command line arguments in separate lines, comma. How we are going to print my argument vector of I? So initially I will be 0, so that will print the first command line argument, that is nothing but your file name. So in my case, what file name I have given? Argument count, argument demo, cmd arg demo file name. So it will print the file name. Okay, now program is done. So simply your main has to return an integer value. So return 0. Okay, save it. Program got saved. See here, don't run the program. Compilation, okay, compile, it is successful. If you run, as you can see, you have entered one command line argument, because it will be passed only with the file name. Command line argument demo.exe. It will be passed only with the command, only with the file name. So it is considering only one command line argument. So how to pass more number of command line arguments in the sense? For that, you have to go to what we call our location, online classes location. So that I will give here. Yeah, here we have the online classes location, and you can see this is your program, command line argument demo. So e particular location ki vellali manam in order to run our program, in order to execute. Program compile చేసిన తర్వాత మనకు .exe file create అవుతుంది. This is your .exe, cmd arg demo ఇది .exe file. I will show you the properties of this particular file here. Properties, as you can see, application.exe, executable file. .exe is nothing but executable file. So this particular file we need to run from the command line argument, command prompt, and there only we need to give the command line arguments. Okay, so I will show you how to reach to this location from your command line, from your command prompt. Just open the command prompt, simply press Windows R. This will open the run window. As you can see, this is your run window, and in that run window, what we have to, in that run window, yeah, in this run window, simply type cmd and then hit enter. This is your command prompt window. This we call it as prompt, and this is your command. Through commands only we can interact here, so that's the reason we call it as command prompt. Okay, so now I want to go to my location, that is online classes. So cd space whatever location you copied now from the address bar, that you paste here and hit enter. So now we are in online classes. As you can see, now we are in online classes. So now I can execute. Simply list the programs. Yeah, here this is the list, and in this list you will see that command line arguments dot c and command line command argument dot demo. So just now on, I have created this executable file. So this executable file, how I can run straight away? Don't do anything. Just pass the file name. What is our file name? CMDARG uh, demo. Okay, hit enter. So as you can see, only one command line argument we passed, and that command line argument is nothing but your file name we passed, CMDARG demo. So it is giving that name only. So if you want to pass more command line arguments, so file name space uh, happy. So only one string I'm passing extra. So here you can see now command line arguments are 2, and those command line arguments are, first command line argument as always your file name, then a string happy. Now I will pass integer. Okay, another command line argument I'm passing integer 23, as you can see. Command line argument demo happy 23. I will pass one float value 78.43, as you can see. Okay, whatever number of arguments you are passing, it is simply taking that one. Okay, float I have passed, a single character I will pass, it is taking that one also. Whatever you will pass, everything, you just remember, everything will be passed like a string only, because over there we declared, while receiving we declared it as a character array, as you can see. Okay, character array, and then character pointer, sorry, character pointer, and then we made it as a array. So every item in your command line argument will be passed like a string only to your program, and whatever it is printing from your program, it is printing like a string only, because we have given the conversion code percentile s for printf, isn't it? So it is printing like a string only, it is receiving like a string only, and it is printing like a string only. That's the reason my conversion code in the program, it was percentile s. You may be noticed or not, I don't know, but when printing, I have given my conversion code clearly as percentile s, because I am going to receive all character pointers, that is nothing but, those are nothing but my strings, and I'm going to pass those strings to this printf function by using conversion code percentile s. So this is how we deal with the command line arguments. Okay, so next thing, yeah, properties of command line arguments. They are be passed to the main function. We always pass the command line arguments to the main function. The command line arguments supplied to the program when it is invoked. Okay, so from the command line window, from the command prompt, when we are executing, when we are invoking our main function, there only we are supplying the command line arguments. Okay, they are used to control the program from outside instead of hard coding the values inside the code. Okay, so one way to put the values in our variables is through initializing. From the code itself, we can initialize the variables and we can make them functional. Okay, we can make them hold some value. But this command line arguments, what we use, it is the second way of giving input to our variable. Okay, not through the keyboard, not through the what we call hard coding inside the program. This is one approach to give the input to our program from outside. Okay, so always with this argument variable of argument count, the the maximum count argument, it is going to be what? It is going to be null. Do understand and do remember, it is going to be null. Okay, null pointer. And zeroth list, zeroth item in your argument vector list, it is going to be the name of the program. Zeroth, that is nothing but the first item in your argument vector is going to be the name of the program. And argument vector 1, it is going to be the first command line argument. And how we are separating all the command line arguments? Through spaces. But if you want to put a space in your command line argument itself, you want a space in your command line argument, they'll enclose that command line argument using double quotes or single quotes. Okay, again I will demonstrate that one. So now one more program example. Here what we are doing, we are receiving the command line arguments Okay, we are receiving the command line arguments. So the argument count is going to be the all the command line arguments count present in my program, and argument vector is going to be all the list. Okay, all the items list, all the command line arguments list. Okay, so argument vector of 0 is going to print my program name. Here you can see I'm printing the program name here. And if argument count equals to 1, so suppose I'm passing only the command, only the program name, I'm not passing any argument, more arguments, then my argument count, it is going to be 1. So what message it will give? No extra command line arguments passed other than the program name. Okay, so in that case my argument count will become 1, and I will see this message, this first message. So if it is greater than or equals to 2, okay, that means we have specific command line arguments other than the file name, then I will print those command line arguments using this simple for loop. Okay, here from 1 up to that number, I'm up to that command line arguments, all command line arguments I'm printing. If you are passing only the file name, then you will see the file name and you will see this message. But if you are passing command line arguments more than 2, that means at least one command line argument apart from the file name you are passing. So in that case, what you will get? You will see this message. Number of arguments passed, that count you will see here, and then the following are the command line arguments passed. This message you will see, and one by one all command line arguments it will print. Okay, argument vector of 0, it will print the file name. Argument vector of 1, it will print the first command line argument. Likewise, up to the argument count, how many, whatever number of command line arguments you are passing, all that arguments you will see one by one like a list. Okay, so surely we are going to execute this program again so that you will understand. I'm going to my program. I'm going to change this program only to hold this code. Okay, so what I'll do, uh, yes, I will simply change this line of code, and here what I'll put, program name I need to put. So program name is colon percentile s, because it is a string only, so we need to give percentile s, and I'm going to print the name. Okay, argument vector of 0. So next thing, I need to check if the argument count is 1 or not. If it is 1, I need to print a simple message over here, printf backslash n, no extra command line arguments are provided. Okay, that is what I guess, passed other than the program name. No extra command line arguments passed other than the program name. No extra command line arguments are passed other than the program name, are passed other than the program name. So as it is inside if the argument count is exactly 1, you will see only this message. And if argument count is greater than or equals to 2, then what we need to, we need to print a message first. Okay, take the curly brackets because we have more than one statement, and printf number of arguments passed. Simply put backslash n, number of arguments passed. Okay, print that one, percentile d comma, what is that, argument count, and next thing, yeah, print those command line arguments. The following are the command line arguments passed. Okay, give some separation. Following are the command line arguments passed. Following are the command line arguments passed. Like this you can give. And after that, using for loop only, we are printing, take this for loop inside. Like this you put, and here what we are doing, and we are printing the argument number also, argument vector of percentile d. Like this we are keeping and giving space, then backslash n. Like this we are giving. And here first percentile d needs to be replaced with I. Okay, and then argument vector of I. Likewise it will go. Okay, now save the program, compile the program. Program got saved, program got compiled. Now we have this argument demo executable file. Come over here and put the location, your location. Okay, what is that? uh, OneDrive documents, cd OneDrive cd documents, then cd online classes, no space, online classes. Now we are in. So again, what I have to, cmd arg demo. I'm not passing any argument, so it will print. Program name is cmd arg demo. No extra command line arguments are passed because argument count is exactly 1. That's the reason I'm getting this message. See, argument count is exactly 1. That's the reason I'm getting this message. So when you give only the file name, your argument count will become only 1. So you will see this message. No extra command line arguments are passed other than the program name. The same thing we are seeing on the output screen here. Okay. So suppose if I pass one argument first, okay, then you can see program name is what? Program name is command argument 0, command argument demo, and my first command line argument of 0 is cmd arg demo, and my second command line argument is first. Likewise, it is printing. Okay, so here I need to do some modifications. Here also I need to put backslash n because it is printing in the same line. Okay. So when you have given, again you execute, when you have given one command line argument, so we need to compile the program. Program got compiled. I think, yeah, now we are getting a new line. This line you remove. Save it. Run it. Okay, yeah, now you can see argument 0, it is printing the argument vector 0, it is printing the file name. Argument vector 1, it is printing the first command line argument which we passed. Now I will pass another one, second. So now you can see first, second, two command line arguments we are getting. I'm passing the third as 3 integer. So you can see third as 3 I got. I want first and second combined. That space I want combined. So put the double quotations. I want this whole thing as a single command line argument. So now how many? 1, 2, 3 only it will give. See, command line arguments. Count, we got 3 only. File name, command argument demo. First argument, first and second, including space, because we used between double quotations. So including space, it is treated as a single command line argument. And third command line argument is 3 only. Likewise, you will get the output. Okay, all that I have explained here. How we got the output, only one command line argument, in the sense we'll see the message, no extra command line arguments are passed other than the file name. When we are giving 3 command line arguments, first, second, third, likewise we are getting. And if using double quotations, if you club all the 3 command line arguments into a single command line argument, it will be considered like a single command line argument only. Okay, that is what we are seeing in this slide. Okay, hopefully you understood this concept. Simple concept, but an important concept. Just you need to remember what is argument count and what is argument vector. Okay, how the argument count will be initialized and how the argument vector list of command line arguments will be initialized. Okay, thank you very much, students. With this, I'm concluding this session.